Welcome back to the last session of our Six National Lounge League. This one is the final round. On the right side, Martin playing Tivit, and on the left side, we have the more or less the new prodigy, Acererak.
Wait, that's me, right?
Yeah, that's you. Exactly. So we
In
have
such a long time.
we have Martin with us. Welcome. Who will give
Yeah.
us some insights today on his thought processes during the game.
Yeah.
I think this was the longest game you've played in top 8. The other two games were 2-0, if I'm correct.
The longest match, you
The
mean?
longest match, yes.
The Kenan match might have been longer, I'm not sure.
Okay.
Damn, I should have forced this.
You
Yeah.
had the
Yeah.
chance? Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Now that I think about it.
I see a fawn, that's right. Yeah, the Heartless Summoning is one way to play Acererak repeatedly a couple of times. Venture through dungeons.
I think maybe I like the hand cards. Yeah. Having 2 answers is also nice, so now I can just wash away, yeah. The rough. So this was the second match I played against him. I played another match against him during the rounds, and I lost that match 0-2.
Okay.
So yeah, I think I misplayed insane. This was the first time I played against this deck. Felix told me about it like a few weeks earlier. He said, "Yeah, there's this deck running around, Acererak combo MBC," and I think I looked at the list, and yeah, I knew what was going on, but it's still a completely different experience playing against it, because there are a billion lines and a billion factors, spots where you can interact. So it's a very interesting matchup, and I think I just lost the first one because maybe I would have lost it either way, but I lost mainly because I had no idea what was going on.
You mean the first match, yeah.
Yeah, in the first match.
Yep.
So the one that was before this one.
Yep.
So I was better prepared in this one. Okay, I will get to the sequence because I love this. Opponent on 3 lands, me on 3 lands. He was playing pretty slow. I was just mainly handing his commanders, and then I was like, okay, if he plays a land next turn, I can double tithe and get my lands into hand because I had no lands left, and somehow get into the game this way. But as you will see now,
I mean, the reason for maybe he has a lot of cards in hand, and we see a Cabal Ritual and other cards. There's a Dark Ritual as well, if I'm not mistaken. So he might have even thought about a sequence. I'm not sure if it's not too early to go for a Stormline or something, but he might have had a lot in mind. He also had an Ether Flux Reservoir in hand, I think. So he could
no. I was just he doesn't play a land here because he has no land. So
okay, no, because you said he thought a lot about the sequence in this.
no, I thought a lot about the sequencing.
Okay, this way.
I thought a lot about the tithe, and I took it because I wanted the 2-for-1, and I
Yeah.
think getting card advantage here is very nice, and getting your commander down early is also good.
Yeah.
And so I needed the lands, and he didn't play another land, so I was now like, okay, what do I do? I decided I really need the tithe +1. I really need this to get back into the game, to get in reach of my commander. So I did not play a land, and I was just like, okay, I will play this control game. He will not outscale me as long as I have an answer for his commander, which I had in hand. So I could play this slow. And oh yeah, so now I go for the removal. So yeah, my basic thought process was, okay, I just need to handle his commander. If he has no way to get his commander back into play because I removed it too much, his deck is basically a very bad MBC deck with a lot of clunky cards that don't really help him.
Yeah, true.
Heartless Summoning is pretty rough there because it also reduces all his initiative creatures and stuff like that. So yeah, that's why maybe that plan is not that great. I think I still, besides the force in the first turn, I don't think I played this badly in any way. So yeah, here I found another land, which is nice. And what is especially great is that it's a fetch land. So
Yeah,
now
you can even in response, if he plays a land, you can play
yeah,
Tithe in response on a fetch.
we'll see it in like 2 seconds probably.
Don't spoil her. No one knows.
You just spoiled the line, not me.
You're the only one. Well, I just revealed the play pattern here, which is
right.
quite obvious.
Um,
Yeah, but so far, I mean, okay, he cracks a clue. You have a Fon in hand. You have a memory lapse in hand.
yeah.
He still has a couple of storm cards in hand, which looks interesting. And he has the 4th land. There is a Cabal Ritual. No reason to counter that.
Yeah. We'll just memory lapse as big play and hope that's enough. So yeah,
There is a Besiege the Queen.
Besiege the Queen, and yeah, maybe there was a world and where it didn't counter this, but I just like the Force of Negation lineup because the deck plays quite a lot of creatures.
Yeah,
And,
I was.
the initiative creatures are the worst ones. And here you see the line with the Tithe. Get the whole priority, find 2 lands.
I was just thinking about like you could usually or sometimes you say you let the tutor resolve and then you counter the target, but that obviously doesn't.
Right, if you have the Force of Negation in this matchup and you just see the opportunity to take this down and take the trade.
Yeah, and also if if your counter magic is limited, that's what I was trying to say.
Right.
Then you can.
Also, this gives me the opportunity to tap out for Tivit next turn. Very chill.
Yeah, true.
And I have the memory lapse open to just counter whatever he plays. So that's very nice.
Playing a scrubland, don't give any information about remaining cards in your hand.
Get my commander to play, make 2 clues, make 2 treasures, make a clue.
Yeah.
The standard lineup. And now I'm in a pretty good position. I have the memory lapse for whatever he plays. His play will definitely be expensive because he played very slow Magic in the turns before. And now I just have to find my way to win. Which can be kind of rough with this deck because you have to think about your mana a lot. Cracking closes, while it's pretty good. It's still very expensive, and the deck also plays a lot of high CMC cards. So you can draw a great card, but you cracked like a few clues in the turns before, so you will not. So here I have to do this just to keep my commander in play.
I was just about to say, end of turn sacking the treasures to crack the clue is also not the best idea, I think, because
no, you never do
that. Then you're pretty much.
You just always leave your clues open unless you try to find a specific card. Just always keep your treasures open. There's no relevant artifact hate that runs around that would make this bad.
True.
Yeah.
Keeping Tivit on board is much more important.
Right. So now this turn I could make 2 treasures, 2 clues if I want to. If I don't have anything relevant in my hand, which is the case, I think. That's me for 6. I'll make a clue. He'll make a treasure, I'll make a clue, right? Mm-hmm. So, like I said, my hand is Toxic Deluge, Command Tower, I think.
Command Tower, yes, and the planes you've searched. So you can... You draw another land.
Another land, yeah. That's a good card. Those lands are insane. Holy moly.
The channel lands.
Minamo saved me the game against Keenan.
Otawara it's called.
Otawara, right. It dodges hand disruption cards with this, which is very good.
Yeah, it dodges protection because it's colorless and
that has
there's a lot of stuff, yeah.
Yeah. I don't really care about
Opposition Agent.
Opposition Agent here. We're just Yeah, that's the downside of the card. It's like if you get your early game blowouts also against this deck. Tivit also plays all the fetch lands and Demonic Tutor and Tithe and stuff like that. So you have enough targets, but late game you can just play around it. And here we see the Edict again, and me just trying to find an answer, which I don't find, but I find a Shorikai, so that's also a very good card.
I mean, you could have also thought about using the Otawara to bounce Tivit, but that's not necessarily a good line. But
Right. Maybe. I didn't even think about that.
That's a nice thing about Otawara, because I mean, I played Windgrace, and in some situations I was kind of sad that I couldn't target my own lands, because that one says only opponent controls.
Right.
And in some situations would have been great with Titania, for example, on the battlefield, to destroy your own land and search for another one.
So here you see me playing the Teferi.
Ah, yeah.
To I think I was just thinking about getting Toxic Deluge up to instant speed to just deluge my opponent.
Mm-hmm.
I think that was my main thought. Wait, did I double land drop there?
I was just, yeah, I thought you did. You played the Swamp, right?
Yeah, right.
Cheater.
I'm such a cheater. I think. Was this the game I won? Was this the game I lost?
That's the
I went 0-2, right?
That's the game. No, that's the game you won, I guess.
Okay.
On a long run. But okay, you have 2 mana left still, with which you can't really do stuff. Well, now you have the instant toxic ready.
Right. I think I'm just blocking with Shorikai here, so
Yeah.
still, don't cheat,
I
kids.
mean, the thing is that, how did the Heartless Summoning
I
came
bounced
back?
it with the Fairy.
Ah, okay.
So I also don't have instant speed. I don't have this thing on instant speed because I
Yeah, true.
busted. So
And the pilot is already blocking.
right, yeah,
Opposition
exactly.
agent.
I'm just activating Shorikai, get
Yeah.
my draw in. Shorikai also pretty good in 99.
Yeah,
So
sure.
it's a very good card. Sometimes feels a bit slow to close out games with it. Okay, destroys the token before I get to block. And so he gets to destroy my Teferi.
It's
Oh
bad.
no.
Ah, you have the AI again, you.
Also my cheating method.
Well, but
Oh no.
no,
Right,
you couldn't,
right.
because you have to pay it for
Yeah.
3. It's only creatures.
Right, it's only creatures, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So cheating again.
Trying to cheat again.
Reading cards explains the card.
Just to everyone out there who's now enraged at Martin double landed, you have to remind yourself that it's the ninth round of the day, and like the atmosphere in top 8 is most often very relaxed, and there's like these things usually don't go on intentionally.
Still I should probably still do that. But
yeah, of course, obviously not. I mean,
it's not great.
so there was the small Teferi, now there's the big brother.
Yep, the good old double Teferi lineup.
We've already said that in the last game. This is a very nice deck for the 5 fairy.
Right. Yeah, one of the best ones.
Yep.
Just to curve it very nicely, and you have all the efficient answers to back it up. Plus it play 2 mana removal. Basically like 2 Macron back then, where the card was also insane. Finds another land.
And I think this is the point, I'm not sure at which, it's not yet the point at which your opponent is. And you have another counter spell for the zombie. So now it's getting really, really difficult to recast it.
Right.
What I noticed when I saw James' list from the tournament, he said that at that point he couldn't get his hands on a copy of Yorkmoth's Urbok, I mean. So, and he didn't.
Yeah, right. It's on your list, right?
He didn't feature any land tutor or tutors to get that. Yeah, simply because he didn't have it. But now he plays it, of course, because then you could have some Kabulkov's magic that would be able to grind you out on the long run and eventually win the counter fight, simply due to the sheer amount of mana you produce.
So
But
here I take the temple just to get more mana. I can untap it with Teferi.
yeah,
Did I do that? I'm not sure if I did that. To get a lot of mana down. So this is 8. Cast my
and
commander.
it's coming back. I mean, your board is already very much
Yeah, the
overwhelming.
only
Like,
thing I could die do is random combo.
yeah, but I mean, you have
Like Rock
Teferi, you
will.
have Shorekai, you
Right.
have a bunch of card advantage. There is,
Right.
it's
And now I have the counter spell in hand, so
true.
that's basically okay. I won't use the
Yeah.
temple apparently. Not sure why,
What
but
else do you have? It's a shipwreck marsh, and there is the
I still have
solitude.
the two lands, the two bounce land, the two channel lands,
Yeah,
black and a
Wrath of God,
blue.
spell snare, counter
I have a
spell,
Wrath,
and a
spell snare, counter spell,
solitude,
and
I think.
solitude.
Yeah,
Right. Yeah.
yeah. This is a really Azurius-ish board.
Yeah.
Lots of green and blue.
Yeah. Deck plays a few black
Or
cards,
if you
but
if you add your opponent's board, then we're back to Esper again. So
right.
let's put it that way. Yeah. And
So yeah, he scoops.
here he's conceding.
Makes no sense playing this out.
That's reasonable.
So yeah, I felt pretty okay about the game. I think I was just think the if we break it down, the reason why I won this was because he missed some land drops. I think that really hurt him.
Yeah.
And now we see how this usually goes. Hand disruption. And man is pretty good. So I felt very confident about this match in this situation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it looks
Uh,
quite good. It's true.
I have a good mix of spells and mana. But
Going to take away the remount. He was
I
pointing
think
to
he
this.
took the Snapcaster Mage.
Oh,
Yeah.
interesting. Okay. Yeah. Why not?
So yeah, makes sense because the bodies really matter in this matchup.
True.
I can get the initiative back with the Snapcaster Mage. That's really important. But
Okay.
now we see
Yeah.
him.
That's the point. I mean, I was just
And
thinking about he as he's playing NBC, it has it features a bunch of interaction, and like your deck doesn't run that many creatures. It's like Snapcaster Mage, Wall of Omens. You played Timeless Dragon and Solitude. That's it,
yep.
right?
Yeah.
So I would imagine that you would do a good job in.
Yeah. Yeah, the wash away really sucks here. I think that's one of the better cards, just to be very flexible with having interaction against this commander. I luckily drew the mana tithe.
Ooh, okay.
And now I can still handle it. Don't have to remand it.
Mm-hmm.
To get an attacks. I'm in quite a good position. I have decent land drops. I have the Jace to get a threat down to draw cards and get me over the hump to get into my commander. Remand is not great against his deck. I really want to get rid of his stuff permanently.
Yeah,
Bouncing his
sure.
commander is not great. So yeah, that's one of the initiative
So
guys.
there is yeah.
Now I will have to remand this to hopefully find another counterspell. I did not. So this is quite interesting. My main thought was, oh yeah, I didn't draw the fourth line. Yeah, right. If I draw the fourth line here, I think I would have won this. But now I'm forced to brainstorm, finding something.
Okay, just with the fourth land, you can
I could have casted Teferi, Jace, or the end of turn Wandering Emperor.
Wandering Emperor, yes.
And if you played initiative cards and end of turn Wandering Emperor and then remove his guy, he basically loses the
But it
game,
has
I
to be
think.
tapped in order to be removed.
No, I can just Teferi bounce it.
You can bounce it with Jace.
Jace,
Yeah,
I mean,
okay.
yeah, right.
Yep.
So,
But that would
yeah.
still leave you open to. I mean, then he would recast it, gain the initiative back. You still
Right, but I have a creature in the Jace, so then I can bounce it again, have mana open, whatever, and then I think I just win. But
yeah, it could be. I mean, it's like it takes 2 turns of tapping out, but yeah, maybe afterwards.
well, I have the timing. Yeah, I think it would be good, but now my line is very clunky. I have to
Mm.
play the tapped land. I don't have a play here. I just have to let him cast this guy. He
Now
gets initiative, finds a land.
that's rough. There's a Boshoka book.
But it doesn't really matter because my snapcast is gone.
Yep.
And now he has initiative. He finds another land, and I need a very, very complicated setup to get this rid of the board. So my easiest answer here is of course the council judgment. But I think my thought was that I can also just crack the manifold landscape and get the fatal projective, right? So
The landscape activation costs 2, right?
right, yeah.
So you don't even get to cast the Emperor end of turn again.
No, I will. And the lands also come to play tapped.
Yeah, exactly. Yes. Yeah.
So yeah, my line here is fatal push.
Yeah.
And get rid of this guy, and then in 2 turns play my end of turn Emperor, make a guy, bounce with Jace. But then he's already pretty deep in the dungeon, so he will now take. Will he take the counters? I think he takes the
He
counters.
takes the counters. Good that you. I don't know. The other option would be to scry, I guess, and then you.
I think he always takes the damage. His deck is so reliant on getting that reach and those 5 damage points in.
Okay. Yeah.
So
Fair
now
enough.
I think I also make another mistake.
You take the
Yeah,
damage
I take
first.
the damage, and I thought I was pretty safe from my life turtle and to just take this and play this slow. Instead, I get to take care of his commander, which is also nice. But still,
I
yeah, this isn't
mean,
great.
yeah, you could
Maybe
still. This is probably not the best, but I mean, now you're fetching
I,
for the lands, and you get to remove Acererak again, and then
I
next turn
think
you
I
can.
should have. I think I should have greeted harder for the initiative. I think I could have just let this resolve here now. Play my Emperor here, get the token, Council Judgment this guy, or Jace bounce it. Yeah, I think that would have been better.
I mean, now you can proactively play the Wanderer, get rid of the
Yeah,
creature.
right. But I think he missed the trigger here, right? The dungeon trigger.
Yeah, he did. Sure. So there's the preordain
Yep.
that might. I'm. It's interesting. Like you need to search for the same basic types.
Yeah,
Okay.
to
Okay. Fair enough.
basically the same time. And I play a 1-1 split of each, so I have all the.
Mm-hmm.
I've usually have an option for it, so it would have been a very crazy situation where I have three basics, 3 different basics.
I mean, you could also go for. Could also go to for casting Tivit.
Here,
Yes, and then you have like a blocker, and like okay, he could have
right?
an edict.
Yeah, I think the blowout by an edict would have been too much. But yeah, sadly, I'll take another 5 here. Yeah, I think the other play would have been better. So I go down to 5. And
That's
now, yeah, now I die to
tendrils, I think.
tendrils
Yeah, we
next
see it in
turn.
hand already. Yeah.
Yeah,
Once you know that he features the storm cards too,
right,
and also like it's just a matter of time that he will get back to the room in which he will drain 5 life.
right. So another commander cast. I let this resolve. He draws a card. Then I play my Emperor, make a dude. But yeah, I think if I played this a little bit more aggressive, I would have been probably had a chance. I now looking at it, I really just like the way I sequence this. I'll make my 2/2 with vigilance. then a fetch, which I don't think it mattered. Or did I not fetch? Okay, I did not fetch, apparently.
I mean, I mean, that's a good. It looks like a good
Oh yeah,
situation, to
right,
be
right, right.
honest. Like,
So, wait, did I? Yeah, I already shuffled my Jays away.
yeah.
He missed it. I think at some time window I shouldn't have fetched and kept my Jays on top, and I accidentally fetched in response to something.
No, you shuffled it away with the mirrored landscape, I think.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I should have played. I think I had a sequencing in my head that would have allowed me to get the Jays back,
Okay.
but I don't remember. I don't remember. Sorry.
All good. So now you are already in range for the tendrils.
Yeah, I'm
This is
just
scary.
desperation Tivit.
Yeah.
Take the initiative, get my basic, play the basic, and then
And then you also get rid of the creature, right?
yeah.
With Emperor?
No, I cancel judgment. I think.
Really? Okay. I think I would have taken the Wonder, the Emperor. But well.
I think I wanted the dude or the +1, but yeah, in the end it didn't matter.
In the end, it didn't matter, yeah. Yeah, I think this would have been an interesting
Yeah.
game yet if you didn't take one attack too much.
Yeah.
There's the judgment. Did you search for
Right. So
the basic
I
land,
make
by the
another
way?
guy.
Did you search for the basic land? Is it the planes
Yeah.
in hand?
The,
I
the
think it's
planes.
the
The planes
planes.
in hand
Yeah,
is it?
yeah,
Yeah. The planes
okay.
in hand is it?
So then there's no room that grants life back, and it's too late anyways.
Yeah.
So from James' perspective, that's like, okay, he has 2 cards in hand. It can be a force with a pitch. Then Martin is a lucky guy. Otherwise, there's even a Yorkmouse Will. So he
Right.
can
And he can
take
just
care of that by casting Inquisition,
yeah,
checking for
look what I
that.
have. He sees nothing, and
Oh
then he
yeah,
just
nice. And then we drain you for 6.
yep.
Fair enough. So game 3.
Yeah, that's the issue with I'm usually, I think Samuel talked about in the last video, I'm a very conservative player when playing control. And I think that punished me very hard here. I took way too much damage. And yeah, life is a
Next.
resource, but a leaf rose that also runs out sometimes. And
That's
I think
true.
that was
That's true.
that really wrecked me here.
Well, when I bring up Acererak, you have a second chance. If you're then still into Tivit, who knows?
Right.
Maybe air.
I think the deck has a lot of upsides due to its surprise factor at the moment.
I mean, this is yeah.
And
Obviously, I mean that's also because I think I was pretty much the only one at our event knowing what Acererak is capable of or what it's planning to do. If you haven't seen the list, it can be anything, and that's most often. And then you have some combo features here too, which is not really a bad thing on a
right, right,
tournament.
and I think even if you know what the deck does, I think understanding how the different cards matter,
Yeah,
how
yeah,
much the
absolutely.
cost reducers matter, how
Yep.
much the commander matters, and getting an evaluation on that
Yep.
is very important, especially if you play control. If you play aggro, I think you just basically try to be faster. I think that's most of it.
Fair enough.
And yeah, so this game I had a very very bad 7. I had
It's
three
funny.
lands and two board wipes that don't really matter, and the Brazen Borrow is fine,
I
but not
forgot the
great.
Brazen Borrow when we talked about the creatures, but the thing is that like he has like this one discard spell that searches for creatures or artifacts, and he
And I
gets
have, yeah,
one
right,
out
right,
of your five
yeah,
creatures. Yeah,
yeah. When I talk during the game, I was like, yeah, I don't play a lot of creatures, and I play no artifacts, right? And I flip my hand, and
yeah,
the Brazen Borrow is there.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So I I kept this hand because he plays all the hand disruption, and it doesn't really matter what cards I have in hand because he will take my good ones anyway. So I would rather have one additional card and have like one more land or something or one more spell that I can use for whatever because the good ones will be gone anyway. So I think against MBC it's usually good to not mulligan if you have enough lands and if you can just have anything playable there.
Yeah.
And but
So there's a silent blood.
wasn't yeah wasn't great. So he took the two cards that could interact with us. He left me with two board wipes that don't do anything. And now I basically have to top deck interaction to help me win this game. And yeah, it's it would require a very insane sequence of cards here to achieve that. I get my Triome and pray to draw more lands, trying to get to 6, the magic number.
I'm always like when I played the toolbox in Prague. I had the Lurin combo featured with Acererak, and I'm always thinking about or waiting for this moment when you make the first step into the dungeon you shouldn't touch or shouldn't finish at least because the first room says each player lose one life. Uh, I like this is some very niche situation, but I always have that in mind when I see Acererak in
Right.
whatever situation.
Yeah, and this is basically where the game ends.
Yeah, I mean now
He has initiative. I have no ways to get it back.
yeah, that's rough.
And yeah, that's in general. So I think the matchup is quite. It's not horrible for Tivit. I think I could have won the second game, but it is not good because he has hand disruption, which is very good against Tivit because Tivit relies on having very high impact cards in his hand usually, due to having a 6 CMC commander. Tivit is pretty bad against initiative because you play very few creatures that can take the initiative back. And
He forgot his trigger again. I just
or
noticed.
not. Yeah, I think he said that as well. Uh, and he also has edicts. Edicts are also very good against Ward 3.
Yeah.
So a lot of stuff that's very good against me. He also, before we played the match, he said he was very happy that I won the final against his friend, the semi-final against his friend, because he was like, okay, that matchup would have been way rougher because the tempo deck plays way more creatures and is way more aggressive and has
Okay.
probably the same amount of answers because he also plays most of the counter
It's
magic.
like the indirect way to bash your mate. Like it's good that you lost.
Yeah,
uh,
kind of.
oh well, I mean, these guys should be
Well,
happy. They both made top 8. That's
right,
good.
right,
We
and both
saw.
was very interesting decks. So
Yeah, yeah.
that's,
I was quite happy to have such a diverse metagame overall, but also the top 8 was very interesting this time.
yeah, no Keenan versus Keenan final.
I mean, we had yeah, it could have been like that. We had two Keenans in top 8, both
I wasn't.
missed the.
I went into top 8. I don't have a lot of games against Keenan overall, just because like we don't really have a player in our community that really plays the deck a lot.
I mean, the thing is, it's Chris main deck, right? But he doesn't. He only brings it to tournaments and he practices on cockatories, so he never plays
Right.
it on FNMs and stuff.
Right. And also Stefan, the other guy who plays Keener in the top 8, also isn't very often at our local events.
Yep.
And usually he plays other stuff. So yeah, so I don't have a lot of games against Keenan. And even though the deck is like a billion years old by now. So I'm always scared of the deck because,
Me too.
especially because they play, sometimes they play counter magic, sometimes they don't.
Yeah.
And that's so important for a deck like Tivit because if they don't play counter magic, the best thing is to just slam Tivit whenever you can. And if they play counter magic, the opposite is true. You have to play it very slow and try to find a way to squeeze into it. So um, I felt very unconfident playing against it in the quarterfinals.
I mean,
Managed to win
we
it.
don't have it on cam, but I've seen the quarterfinal you played against Chris, and it was there was like one situation in which you and you've said that earlier that Otavara saved you the game.
Right, Ottawa
Um,
the game.
and I
On the
think
other
you
hand,
had like a big 5 fairy that
right,
took care of Basalt Monolith or something, and that
right,
and he was hellbent. So
yeah. Well, he also had a situation where he played Emrakul,
uh-huh.
and I managed to get my hand down to no relevant cards. I just had a Supreme Verdict in my hand and Memory Lapse, so he had no way to get rid of the cards.
That's good. Yeah.
So I would have been able to remove his Emrakul in the turn after my after his team taking control of my deck. And he top decked Force for me. So he was able to play my commander, Force, pitch the Supreme Verdict, and I lost the game. It was very crazy. And it was the only card
That's
that would have saved him there.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Uh, yeah, so here we are. Here's the initiative, so
There is
he took the stride this time.
some ritual again. A Cabal ritual, I think. There's a York moth. We see a Heartless summoning. He's going to
Yeah,
play that again.
just going to,
Yeah, going through the dungeon.
and
That's
you know
that's the usual business.
now it's very very
I
much
think he
over.
makes a treasure on that route.
Right, so that one is free.
Yeah, so he takes another one. And let's be honest, the deck has something around 15 creatures, I think.
Yeah,
The black deck. So the chance of hitting a creature in the top 10 isn't that big compared to other decks, but there's Sheoldred. That's enough, and it's already quite a good one,
yep.
I would say.
Gets the
You can
sacrificed
you can
skeleton.
even you can even exploit the skeleton token. That's brilliant. Search for another card. I'm not sure. I think I saw the last scene here, but I don't remember anymore what he was searching for. He has a couple of options, especially because he had Yawgmoth Will available, and you're down to one unknown card. And as you already said, like the board webs are not really doing anything.
Right.
I think in his, he could just search for Relic of Legends and win next turn. No, even that turn, because he had. Oh, let me see. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, he's not going to get it this turn. If he would have had one more card in graveyard now, he could have exploited CDC, and then he would have Threshold to cast the Cabal Ritual, get the Relic on board, and then combo you down.
Right. But what's my mana off? I think
I mean, on the other hand, like he has a bunch of cards in hand, and he's searching
I
for a
have
10
I have a
also.
single Baleful too. Yeah, I think he just wants to take to win here with the Yorkwell and double tendrils,
Yeah, that's
which is
fair
probably
enough.
fine.
I've built a deck too, and I'm in contact with James. He's more into the all-inish version or straightforward version. I was building more of a control deck. I don't like to feature tendrils here. It's very cool.
I think it makes sense,
Um,
especially because you have a lot of inevitability, and take the life gain of tendrils is also very good for this deck. So
yeah, it depends on what's your goal with the deck.
well,
I'm
your goal is to recast the commander, and I think due to this deck dealing like 10 damage sometimes, just by the 2 counters and the 5 life loss. So you get your opponent into tendrils range very often without putting a lot of effort in, but you also put your opponent into tendrils range like 10 or something, and you don't win the game there because you don't have any other ways to take back the board or to burn your opponent.
I mean, the thing is that
And
if you venture through normal dungeon, it's much more time consuming compared to the initiative thingy, and the initiative,
right,
like the problem with the Undercity is that you basically would always have to find um, an initiative card before you cast Acererak the first time. That makes it a bit less flexible every now and then. Mm. I don't know. I would just like to rely a bit more on less. I wouldn't say less streamlined things. Oh, you get back the initiative even. Cool. Um, what is this other card, by the way? It's the new Defiler, the black one. Is it like the one that reduces uh, black costs by paying 2 life?
right. You can pay 1 black mana symbol by paying 2 life.
Ah, okay, yeah. That's not bad too. Um, what I was trying to say was that I would like to rely on second or third win options. But I'm also a bit biased because I played the Miara Tevish deck, which was way different.
Yeah,
And I try to utilize some tools from that pile again.
I think his deck list makes a lot of sense. I personally would just play this stock list and then adjust from there instead of going for my own route.
Yeah, it's okay.
So now I deluge for 7, I think. No, 8.
Yeah, you have to go for 8, I think,
Yeah.
because this one had 3 counters from the room.
So 9 toughness and -1 from
Yeah,
the heart and something. So
yeah,
8.
it's true.
So down to
But you
11.
have the initiative, so that's good.
Yeah. But still, he has his commander in hand uh, with heartless summoning in play, and now he has a
There's a Camel Covers. Woo! It's going to be awesome.
yeah. I
So
think he just goes for the tendrils line here. I
6
think.
mana floating, yeah, makes absolutely sense um, to do that now that he has so much mana. And he ventures into the dungeon of the Mad Mage. Ah, it seems he already was in a fourth room. Yeah, it seems, because that's like the fifth mode is exiling the top 2 cards, and you can play them without a time restriction, as far as I know, which is quite
Yeah,
good.
I think it's you played him right now. So
Is it like that?
I think it is. I think that was what he told me.
Okay.
All his dungeons were in French, so I
Yeah.
basically just accepted whatever he said.
Yeah. The thing is, if you look up the dungeons on Scryfall, you don't get a information on the different rooms,
Right. Yeah,
like
that's
regarding
that's.
the timing and stuff. And that's a bit awkward because I would like to know.
Well, this is obvious. I think this is just obvious because the card says um
It adjusts the
you
trigger and then you play them
yeah,
and
you
have to
just
pay
played him.
mana.
You may
Yes,
play
yes,
them right
yes.
now, and then it always has a timing restriction. And now
Yeah.
he, whatever.
And there you
Yeah,
go.
I went for the handshake because he could have also just played the Grim Tutor from Grave and killed me that way.
Yep. Good.
Yeah,
Great game.
yeah, very interesting.
Thanks
I think
for tuning in. We're already at the end, but yeah,